Chief Moshood Kasimawo Abiola was a Nigerian businessman and politician from Ogun State. His unofficial victory in the 1993 presidential election and his refusal to accept General Ibrahim Babangida's annulment of the election led to a political crisis in Nigeria. He was imprisoned for years and later died unexpectedly, shortly after the death of General Sani Abacha, on the day he was due to be released, while meeting a group of American diplomats, including Susan Rice, the American Assistant Secretary of State, who served him the infamous cup of tea few minutes to his death. Chief MKO Abiola was the winner of the Nigerian freest and fairest election, which took place on June 12, 1993. The election was later annulled by General Ibrahim Babangida, the then military head of state, which led to a political crisis in Nigeria. Babangida was compelled to step aside and hand over to Ernest Shonekan. On November 1993, Abacha toppled the interim national government of Shonekan and seized power for himself. Abiola was arrested and detained. 4 years later, Abacha was murdered by an unidentified forces and General Sani Abacha took power. On July 7, 1998, exactly 30 days after Abacha was killed, and the day Abiola was due to be released, a group of American diplomats arrived Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Abacha had died a month earlier, and his successor, Salami Abubakar, hoped to shepherd Nigeria through a democratic election to select a new leader. The primary objective of the Americans' visit was to meet the wrongfully imprisoned opposition leader, Chief Moshood Abiola, and negotiate his freedom so that he could participate in the upcoming election. According to Abiola's security officer, ASP Zodag, Abiola was hale and hearty and in a very high spirit just before going into the meeting with the Americans. Chief Abiola was robust and happy to see them. He began narrating how he had been treated during his 4 years in prison. About 5 minutes into the conversation, Susan Rice served him the now infamous cup of tea, which Chief Abiola received in appreciation. He started coughing intensively after taking a sip and was pronounced dead an hour later by his doctor. Chief MKO Abiola returned home finally on a Saturday morning, but instead of a hero welcome that his supporters have hoped to give him when he arrived, Abiola made his final journey in a coffin. Abiola's death shocked the whole nation and left his followers in disbelief and inspired numerous conspiracy theories, but the lasting of those conspiracies put Abiola's blood on the hands of a foreign body, the United States of America's Central Intelligence Agency. But according to the testimony of Susan Rice, the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State who served him the infamous cup of tea, she met Chief MKO Abiola on that fateful day with a swollen ankle, and about 5 minutes into the meeting, Abiola started to cough consistently. Noticing a tea service on the table, she offered Abiola a cup of tea, and with appreciation, he accepted, then took a sip, but increasingly uncomfortable, Abiola removed his outer clothes. She called the security officer, who quickly put a call to the doctor. The doctor arrived, took a quick look at him, and declared that Abiola was having a heart attack. He was transported to the hospital and was pronounced dead an hour later. But other issues that has generated considerable controversy was the issue of autopsy. 2 autopsies took place. The first consisted of a panel of international pathologists that were flown to Nigeria to conduct the exercise under the supervision of the federal government. They returned a verdict that the death was caused by natural causes, occasioned by a heart attack. Abiola's family rejected the result on the grounds that they were not represented and that no Nigerian doctors participated. As a consequence of their concern, a second autopsy was conducted, which also returned a verdict of death by natural causes. Ordinarily, this would have brought closure to the whole matter until one considers the fact that it was the federal government itself that organized the autopsy and that the team of doctors that carried it out was led by General Sani Abacha's personal physician, with America and Britain sending a representative. The question here is, why anyone would expect a team of pathologists that were assembled and chosen by the prime suspect in a murder case to do an autopsy on their victim? Given these circumstances, do you think that Abiola was murdered by an international body or by the military junta, or that he died a natural death caused by heart attack? Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you.